I don't know why every time we play LSU, it gets crazier and crazier and crazier, but that seems to be the trend. And again, I wish we came out on top for our fans, for our players. Just not meant to be sometimes, and it wasn't meant to be for us today. I can't wait to watch our team go play in a regional and hopefully a super regional and hopefully Omaha after that, because obviously if anybody didn't believe that we were capable of that before this week, I think we passed the eye test. We're one of the best teams in the country. We're not perfect. We had some self-inflicted errors in both LSU games that have to be shored up, but they will be. And as I said, I can't wait to watch this team play a regional.
Questions first for Parker, please, if you'd raise your hand. In the back left.
Parker is a veteran kind of representing the infield. It was a tough day out there for you guys in general defensively and really a tournament. How do y'all go about tightening up defensively over the course of the week?
Yeah, we just get back to work. I got a ton of confidence in everybody out there. Those are my brothers, and I know they're going to do a better job, and I know we're going to work at it and keep getting better.
Next one for Parker, please. In the front row, on the right.
Parker, Steve Robertson with Gene's Page 247 Sports. You play 35-plus games against these guys all year in this conference, and some are ball together, but now everybody's going to a regional. There's a fraternity that we're not a part of, but you guys are. What's it like now when you see your competitors go play in a regional? Is there an esprit de corps where you guys kind of cheer for each other and cheer for the SEC?
I mean, I think we're just focused on us and growing as a team. I think we're just focused on getting better and how we can improve and how we can win our next game.
All right, second row center.
Jordan K. with the State. Parker, you were at the plate during that crazy play at the 10th. Can you take us through your vantage point and, you know, the kind of craziness of that 20 minutes?
Yeah, to be honest, I was just up there trying to put a ball in play and score a run. I saw Blake barreling down the line, third base. Wasn't really sure what was going on. I kind of just try to let the umpires officiate the game because I know they're really good at their jobs. So I'm just trying to compete the best I can.
All right, second row center as well.
Parker, Koki Riley with The Advocate. Have you ever seen anything quite that, I guess, confusing, nuts? Like how do you sort of try to deal with that as a player?
Yeah, I've played 5 years college baseball and I haven't really seen anything to that scale. But I mean, it worked out in our favor, and we were just focused on getting back on the field and stopping them from scoring.
Front row on the left.
Cole, GamecockScoop.com. Parker, you played 5 games here this week. Do you have kind of a big picture or an overarching takeaway for this team coming out of it, going into a regional next weekend?
Yeah, this team's tough. We really enjoy playing with each other. We got a lot of love for each other, and we got a lot of heart too. And I know these guys are going to fight until the very last out of the season, and I'm very proud of how this team's came together and how we've played this past week. I think it's going to give us a lot of confidence going to the regional.
Any more for Parker? If not, congratulations on your play this week, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Parker.
All right. If there are questions for Coach, please raise your hand. In the back left.
Coach Alfred Esmond, Southeastern 14. Talk about the overall run y'all had this week, regardless of the result today. It was very impressive. Talk about how it was for you and your team, and going forward, how it's going to help you.
Yeah, we loved it. I mean, again, it's the greatest conference in America. It's the greatest players in America. It's the greatest coaches in America. I'll say it's the greatest umpires in America. It's the best of everything. It's the best. Look, this stadium and what this town does for this week is incredible. I haven't had anything that reminds me of the Omaha experiences that I've had, anything more than what is put on this week. It's everything that everybody that's in baseball wants to be a part of, and it's tremendous. And it was tremendous for me to watch our team. It's hard to think that you can have significant growth on a team this late in the season, but we did. We did, because there were so many different challenging situations that our kids will be able to learn from. We were able to put so many young guys in situations through thick and thin, through good and bad. They're going to be better because of it. And it's the biggest stage they'll play on until they get to the big leagues. This is a very similar feel to Omaha, especially when you're the team playing LSU like that. That was hostile territory out there, and our kids will learn from it. And our kids aren't perfect. Nobody's team is perfect. These are 18 to 22, 23-year-olds. They're going to make mistakes. It's our job to help get them through it, learn the lesson, and be better because of it. So it's a tremendous week. Hard to think that it can get better until you get to Omaha.
In the front row.
Hey, Mark, Jack Ultra, GamecockCentral.com. Errors seem to really be a lingering issue this entire week, and obviously today. Kind of a two-part question. What do you do this late in the season to kind of, I guess, work through that? And is that something you just kind of play through at this point?
You know, we fielded 979 in 30 conference games this year. It was not a problem all year. You know, why it was a problem this week on this field, I don't know. We got to dig into it. Got to talk to our players, communicate a little bit, ask them as we get to a regional, is there anything we can do to help get you more ready? I don't think there is because you know, our guys prepare very well. Our guys are good. We fielded 979. That's pretty damn good all year. And for whatever reason, that type of defense didn't show up this week, and we'll do everything we can to get it better.
Second row center.
Coach, when did you guys first notice that something might have been awry with the way Griffin threw the ball to home plate?
You know, it was crazy play, obviously, and I do want to say on the record that was a very difficult situation for Derek Malika and that crew, and I think they did everything they could to try to get the call right. I think they did get the call right, and look, that's not a comfortable situation for umpires to be in. Nobody wants that. I know they don't want to be at the center of attention, but it was a crazy play. There was a very similar play recently that was, you know, kind of this almost not, maybe if not the identical play, very, very similar. I think we drew on watching that on television and having seen it already, and we just thought, hey, let's bring this up, let's see what happens, and see if we can get the interpretation in our favor.
Second row on the right.
Coach, I want to ask you about the depth of this league. You kind of mentioned it earlier, but we got 5 teams that are probably going to be hosts, national hosts, and we got 6 in Mississippi State on the verge of that. Coach, can you talk about the depth of this league?
Well, depth. I mean, our depth has depth. Let me put it that way. You're watching pitchers today that have thrown very few innings, and you'll probably see the same thing tomorrow. You're watching pitchers that have thrown very few innings all year for these SEC teams that are 96, 97 miles an hour. You're like, wow, how is this guy not pitching? It's just because of the depth in this league. It's incredible. It really is, and it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get better and better. So all the clubs that invest and really do everything they can to try to make sure their programs are in a great place for growth, those are going to be the teams that continue to develop and keep up pace. I mean, that's what this thing's all about. So it's an incredible league. It really is. Like I said, players, coaches, umpires, fans. I mean, it's the best of the best.
Front row left.
Same question as for Parker. Do you have one or maybe 2 takeaways just from the overall 5 games you played here before you get a week off for the NCAA tournament?
Takeaways, couldn't be prouder of my guys. Couldn't be prouder of how they handle. I struggle to use the word adversity. Adversity is not, you don't get adversity on a baseball field unless you get injured. Adversity is health problems. Adversity is those types of things. We had failure to deal with this week, but every team has. And I'm just so proud of our guys that they are trying to make sure that they learn from the failures, that they handle them properly, and they're better because of them. But my takeaway is that I'm glad the country got to see what we're all about, what we're capable of, the good and the bad. You know, we're not a perfect team. We have some warts that we need to try to cover up at times, but we know how to win, and we can beat anybody. I mean, we've shown that. We can beat anybody. So back to the question about the league, too, I'll just go ahead and say, in my opinion, every team in our league that gets to the regionals will have a chance to go to Omaha. I don't think there's any question about that. So it's going to be a matter of who gets good draws, who's in a spot where they're playing hot against teams that maybe are not quite as hot. But every team in our league that gets to a regional will have a chance to go to Omaha.
All right, fourth row on the right side.
Thank you. Phil Korn, Blue Sports Talk Media Network. I got 3 shoulders for you.
3, no. 2 is your limit, Phil. 2 is absolutely your limit. Unless you borrow one from somebody else, which I don't think anybody will be willing. I know John's not willing to do that.
Was Jackson stealing on his own?
I'm not going to give you the secrets of that play because we might want to pull it out in the future. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Sorry.
And when you approached the umpires, were you approaching about the interference or the ball, or a combination of both?
You know, when you go out there, I talked to Derek, and again, I think Derek handled that situation of chaos about as good as you could possibly handle it. It took longer than we all wanted, but I think their goal was to try to get it right. When you go out there for a situation like that, you know there's a million different things that might lead to something that goes in your favor. Did he step off or did he stay on the rubber? Did the catcher come out in front of home plate? All those things. Sometimes you roll the dice and you know it might go our way. And there are certain times you're very confident that it will, but you just hope that the interpretation is in your favor.
All right, we have time for two.
And on Casas? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Casas, no positive news on Casas yet. It is a handmade issue, and so we're just going to have to continue to see what the doctors and him come up with, and our athletic trainer, Corey Barton, who does a good job. Just going to have to see if they can come up with anything that might allow him to play.
Two more, back left.
Did Eli Jones get hurt covering the bag?
No.
Okay.
No, he came out just in the interest of, again, making sure that all of our pitchers were not overextended this week so that they're ready to go next week.
Yeah, and from a pitching standpoint, what did you learn about playing so many games in such a short period of time, about your pitching staff and how to handle them with a regional format coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we don't have to play 5 straight games next week. But we had a lot of kids step up. Sam Simpson pitched for the first time in a long time today, and I thought he handled himself well. Eli got us out of a big jam. Matthew Becker had a couple decent outings this weekend. Garrett gave up that home run at the end, but he's one of our guys, and that will not change. I thought Roman Kimball really represented himself well today and had poise and gave us a chance to win. Even at the box score, it's hard to imagine he gave up 4 earned runs. That's probably a topic for an official scorer and myself to talk about. But I thought Roman did a really nice job today and stepped up in a way that was great for him and great for us as we move into the future.
Last one, front and center.
Yeah, I think John basically just asked my question right there, but I'll kind of expand on it a little bit. With the regionals coming up next week, and like you said, with playing potentially 5 games next week, is there anything from this week that you feel like you would, if you could go back and change it, would you, or would you kind of just go with the same thing that you did with this week?
No, look, you have to make decisions in the moment. You have to live with the results, and then you move on to the next one. So whether it's who you're playing, who's coming in to pitch, do you bunt, do you hit and run, where do you shade your guys? Like, you have to make decisions in the moment that are based on information you have, and then you live with the results. Baseball, Augie Garrido said it a long time ago, and it's no truer words have ever been spoken. This game was designed to break your heart, and it broke our heart today again. But it also, if you survive it, if you thrive in it, it will make you such a better person moving forward. So, look, it broke our heart a little bit this week, but we also played a lot of great baseball. I mean, we're one of the last 4 teams standing here. Our kids have nothing to hang their heads about.